Hi, and welcome to another episode of Emerald Isle Vacation Home Specialist. I am your host, Dennis Richkovsky. Some of you recognize me as the co-owner of Flip Flops Donuts, and some of you know me as your broker of real estate, who specializes in waterfront and waterview properties along the Crystal Coast, especially on boat banks and in my town of Emerald Isle, North Carolina. On this channel, you will find essential information from the inside scoops on buying and selling houses to how to live with the ocean, rivers, and sounds that define the Crystal Coast. Today's episode is all about the North Carolina Coastal Federation. Whether you visit here occasionally or live here full-time, getting to know about what the North Carolina Coastal Federation does to protect and restore the unique coast in and around the Crystal Coast and Emerald Isle is a story worth telling. Before I begin, please subscribe to my video channel now or at the end of this episode. Since 1982, the North Carolina Coastal Federation has worked with people to safeguard the coastal rivers, creeks, sounds, and beaches of North Carolina. Todd Miller, the Federation's current executive director, formed the nonprofit organization in 1982 to enforce and expand local coastal management authorized by the Coastal Area Management Act of 1974. Soon after it formed in 1982, the Federation rallied fishermen, environmentalists, and scientists to oppose a proposed mining of peat bogs on 120,000 acres of wetlands between the Albemarle and Pamlico Sounds. Peatlands contain 5 times more carbon than forests, and mining peat for agriculture or harvesting it for compost releases copious amounts of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, accelerating climate change. The project gained national attention, including coverage on the CBS Evening News and PBS's McNeil-Lehrer report. The proposal was defeated in 1984, and the Federation then worked for the passage of state rules that have effectively prohibited large-scale Since it first cut its teeth on the peat mining issue, the Federation has been an extremely active participant in coastal management issues throughout the entire North Carolina coast and elsewhere in the nation. Some highlights include restoring thousands of acres of wetlands, reducing millions of gallons of polluted runoff, installing miles of living shorelines in Carteret County, as well as hundreds of private residential waterfront properties. Lastly, the Federation has removed hundreds of tons of marine debris from coastal estuaries over the years. To visualize this tonnage, it would be equivalent to lining up 2-liter soda bottles end to end and have them extend from Beaufort all the way to Dallas, Texas. And that's only the amount of debris collected in 1 year. Additionally, the Federation lobbied the North Carolina General Assembly to enact new legislation that sets the stage for the removal of hundreds of abandoned and derelict boats in 2021. The Federation has also supported the coastal economy with its water quality and habitat restoration projects. These projects directly invest millions of dollars in our coastal communities through the contractors and businesses they hire. In Carteret County, the Federation has acquired thousands of acres of land to restore and protect wetlands to improve downstream water quality. And now the Federation is one of the county's major landowners. The North Carolina coast is both a vacation destination and a permanent home because of its air and water qualities. Maintaining air and water qualities is a major challenge, a challenge made more daunting by the increased frequency of extreme weather events and rising sea levels that impact shoreline erosion, flooding, and wildfires. Anticipating these changes as the coast develops is critical if the goal were to maintain healthy and productive estuaries and waters to remain clean enough for all of us to swim in. The Federation not only wants to keep Carteret County and North Carolina coasts healthy, but also it wants to make them productive. In this context, Degradation has occurred over the last 4 decades, but North Carolina still has one of the most pristine and naturally productive coasts that you can find anywhere in the world, and the Federation aims to keep it that way. This is why the Coastal Federation also established the Oyster Blueprint. Following this blueprint, the Coastal Federation has built numerous oyster reefs and oyster sanctuaries. The Swan Island Oyster Sanctuary they helped to build now hosts an estimated 136 million oysters. These oysters now help to seed new natural oyster reefs in Pamlico Sound. The Federation also continues to promote and expand an oyster shell recycling program along the coast, support the shellfish mariculture industry of Carteret County through numerous projects, and work with the North Carolina Sea Grant and the North Carolina Department of Cultural Resources to launch the North Carolina Oyster Trail. The North Carolina Oyster Trail is a unique tourism experience centered around our state's tasty oysters and run by people who love them. The North Carolina Oyster Trail offers unique and tasty adventures, including tours of working oyster farms, where you will hop on a boat and learn how to grow oysters. You will taste our homegrown oysters and discover local oyster lore. About this time, you might be asking, well, what can I do to help the North Carolina Coastal Federation? Well, you can give. Your gift of $25 can provide supplies for rain gardens, which protect water quality by filtering polluted stormwaters. $50 can help support one of our many coastal cleanups. $100 can supply wetland plants to restore 100 square feet of wetlands along our coast. And $250 can restore 25 bushels of oysters in a reef or on a living seashore. You can volunteer. Join the many thousands of people who have helped with projects to restore coastal habitats, push for stronger environmental rules and standards, and have promoted widespread stewardship of our coastal resources. As environmental pressures increase, so does the need for protection of coastal resources, and thus the need for continued volunteer support. Show your support. Hit the road with the Federation's Protect Our Coast specialty license plate. And to learn more about the North Carolina Coastal Federation, its goals to keep water clean enough for swimming, subscribe to my newsletter by texting your email address to 919-308-2292, or sign up for my blog on my website, www.eihomesforsale.com, and subscribe to Emerald Isle Vacation Home Specialist on YouTube at the end of this video. Stay well and stay safe, so come on down. Please subscribe to my channel below, and definitely return next week to this same bat channel at the same bat time of 9 a.m. on Thursdays for another episode of Emerald Isle Vacation Home Specialist.